Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Aly. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. And today is going to be a little different. Not so many flyers about community events. There were a few. And of course, there's always things in the Facebook group if you want to know what's going on around the city. But today is going to be a little bit different. She's our guest host actually today, Miss Angela Durant. And so Angela is a brand consultant. She's the creator of the Legacy Brand Method and the founder of the Be Brilliant movement, where she helps established business owners and brave entrepreneurs build their brands from the inside out. So they own themselves, run profitable businesses, and they're positioned to make a significant impact in the lives of others. So, Miss Angela, how are you today?
Hello, Alicia. I'm great. I'm super excited to be here today and really excited about having the opportunity to turn the tables
I
um,
know.
and interview you as you are always interviewing all of your guests.
Yes, so I'm a little nervous about that. However, what I do want you to do, before we get started, I still want everybody to know a little bit more about you. And since it's your first time, greet our Making Connections family.
Hello. So glad to meet everyone. You did a great job reading my bio. As you mentioned, I'm a brand consultant. I help build brands from the inside out, which is our unique methodology. We always tell people who come to us for branding, many times they're looking for logos or colors or some kind of design. And although we do all of that on our campus, that's not where we start. We start with the essence of who you are. So we build the brand based on who you are, what you stand for, what your values are in the world. And we start there and then we build it so that the outside looks like the inside. So that's what we do. And really excited to be here today. And I love the work that you're doing. Congratulations again for celebrating over 4 years now with your show. And thank you for allowing me to be your guest host today.
Well, thank you. I'm honored and I'm excited. But before we get started with me, I definitely want you to talk a little bit more about that building from the inside out. Uh, why is that important? I mean, you could just make money building logos and websites, but why did you feel building from the inside out is so important?
Yeah, it's funny because when I first started my business, I didn't do logos or websites or anything. I think the heart of the business, the core, is really important. And if it's missing, it's like, I guess think of it as like the soul of your business isn't there, right? So then you're just picking colors, but they don't mean anything, right? You're creating a logo, but it doesn't have a solid foundation. And if you like study the big brands, the iconic brands like Apple, like Nike, like Starbucks, they all have meaning. They all have purpose, right? And so when entrepreneurs come to me and they're looking to build their brands, that's where we start. We start with what they stand for, what their values are, what is the kind of work they want to do in the world, what's the impact they want to make. If you watch some of these iconic brands like, let's say, Nike, for instance, a lot of times when you see their commercials, they don't show the product, right? You're not seeing a sneaker or tennis
Yeah.
shoe or athletic gear. That's what they sell, but that's not what you see, right? Many people fell in love with the Nike brand because of what it stands for. It's a very inspiring brand, right? It says just do it, right? It says that you too can be an athlete, right? No matter what you look like, size, color, whatever. That's what they take a stand for. And that's why people love it. So it doesn't, I mean, of course, we all know the Nike swoosh. We all know, but there's history to why the swoosh even exists, right? It stands for something. It's a symbol of what the brand means.
Hmm.
So if there's no meaning, you're just making stuff, you're just creating something pretty. It doesn't have a solid foundation to stand on.
Hmm.
So that's why we build brands from the inside out.
I think that's so cool, and because even if it's pretty, I mean, if it doesn't have any meaning, we don't hold on to it. you know. And so I think that is so cool because you're right. A lot of people, especially when you're an entrepreneur just getting started, you know, I need a website put up. I need a logo, make it pretty, But then somebody says, well, what's your logo stand for? Why do you have the X going this way and, not this way? And you're like, that's how the graphic designer did it.
Right,
And of
exactly.
the three choices I had, I like that one the best.
Right. And I'm not saying that those things aren't important. Like aesthetics do matter, right?
Right.
Aesthetics do matter. But the way we take our clients through the process is we focus on, most of them are solopreneurs or they're startups, and we start with who they are as the founders of the company.
Right.
And then we move on from there to focusing on who it is they're looking to serve, who their ideal customers are. So we understand who we're creating, this product or service for. And then we move on to the aesthetics, right? The aesthetics never come first. We
Hmm.
never put those things first, right?
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, Miss Keisha. Miss Keisha is here with us today. She's on the show Saturday, and we
Hello.
had an awesome time talking about unbecoming the gift.
Mm,
We're talking about systems and things, even with entrepreneurs sometimes, and that's something I hear a lot in business is that, you know, on your job, you have that mentality where, I've got to show that I'm the best because there's only one position. So I always have to, if I have to make other people look bad, I got to do what I got to do because I need them to see I'm the best.
mm,
But when you're an entrepreneur and even when you're working with a team, you always have to kind of work together. So you have to put that mindset away because it's not going to serve your team or your brand when you're trying to build something greater. So, yeah.
yeah. I would say, I mean, I'm all about building personal brands too, like building your personal brand, whether you are running your own company or if you're working in corporate America, like really helping you see that there's no competition really when it comes to who God created you to be. And so, understanding, getting clear on what it is you bring to the table. And I always say, because I've been fired from a job before, right? And I always say that, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you take your brilliance with you. And so when you understand what you have, you're never at a disadvantage, right?
Mhm.
But if you're not clear on that, then you're trying to outcompete everybody else. You're trying to, hold on to a job that, God is really trying to move you to the next level, and you're holding on to crumbs when there's more waiting for you. Those are decisions that we make when we don't know what we carry, like when we don't know what it is that we have. And
Right.
so, building a brand from the inside out helps you do that. It helps you become more confident in what it is that you offer. It helps you feel more confident that if a job gets lost, right, gets lost, if you have to move on from that job to another job, that
Right.
it's okay because wherever you go, whatever you do, you take your brilliance with you. And as we know that, our gift always makes room for us, right? We just not need to know what it is.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. That part. Yes. And I'm working with Miss Angela to figure all that stuff out.
Yes, yes,
And so, I did I wanted her to interview me today. It's kind of
absolutely.
strange, y'all. Because, I do come on and I tell about what other people have going on in the community and the things that they do. So, I just thought it might be an opportunity just for you guys to, even at this level, yeah, I've been in front of you for 4 years, but I've been developing and changing in
Mhm.
that time frame. So just talk about maybe a little bit, what I have going on.
Yes, yes. I can't wait. I have lots of questions for you.
Listen, Angela, be nice. Oh, okay, let's
All
go.
right, so let's jump in. Let's jump in. Thanks again for allowing me to do this. Such an honor to interview you. I love how you show up in the world. I love your generous spirit. I love, how you give back to your community. So I'm just honored to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're a woman, as I know, who wears many hats. There's lots that you can do in the world, and many women do. I like to call women like you, Allie, Renaissance women, right? The women who can do many things. So tell us a little bit about what it is, how you define what it is you do.
Well, one of the main things right now is, you know, how so many people are drowning financially, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. They work 40 years of their life, 40 hours plus a week, but then they only retire on 40% of their income. And, you know, I thought that was just terrible because, you know, I'm getting older and I'm getting to that place, right? So, you know, working with you, you know, we're creating a customized blueprint that will alleviate that stress, that pulls them out of debt, and, you know, helps them to build financial wealth. And the reason we did that is, you know, so people can not be stressed out. They don't have to worry about punching somebody else's clock. But most of all, they can leave an inheritance for their children's children. Because I found out, you know, that's what's most important to us, our family and our friends. We want to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're taken care of. But a lot of times we can't really help because we're still in the struggle. You know, we're living a paycheck to paycheck, and you know I'll let you borrow $20, but I really need it back Friday. You know, and it's a part of life. You know, we have to develop from there. But I noticed that a lot of people either don't know how to develop from there, or they're scared to move from there because what does the other side really look like?
Mhm, mhm,
So, you know, in that, you know, I help financially. I became a coach a couple of years ago, but I wasn't really sure, you know, what my niche was going to be. And
mhm,
so then I went into the world of finances and I'm like, okay, well, let me start here. I know it's going to build from there, but this is a basis. This is something everybody needs.
mhm. It definitely is something everybody needs and at every different level, right? So what, I mean, what was the passion for you behind this venture? Like, of all the things that you could choose, you know, why did you choose this? And I will say that what I find, especially with people that I work with, that there are three different categories that they typically are focused on, and that is they want to build something independently for themselves, right? They want to own themselves. They
Yeah.
want to not have any limits or caps or restrictions on their earning potential.
Hmm.
And they want to make a significant impact in the lives of other people. And when I watch you, I see how you're very community focused. Like you really want to help people in any way you can. The finance is the lens in which you're doing your work. But I'm curious to know, like, why that? Like, what was the passion that was driving you to do this when you are very talented and you could do a lot of other things. So why this specifically?
Right. And, you know, even some of the things you were talking about, you know, first of all, really, honestly, first of all, I've been on my job 23, going to be 24 years pretty soon.
Wow.
Um, I'm not making a $500,000, and if I stay there 24 more years, I won't be.
Right, right.
So initially, really, I needed to make extra income,
Mhm,
you know, and I needed to because, like I said, I'm getting to that age where retirement is coming.
mhm,
I'm at that age now where my parents are older and, you know, I want to be able to spend time with them. So
mhm,
that's initially, but I was like, but what's going to get me there?
mhm,
Bringing in more finances,
mhm,
having more income. But even if I, you know, there are those four quadrants, you know, you're an employee, then you become self employed, then you become a business owner, and then you become an investor. So
mhm,
even if you are a self employed, you're still the only self working, you know, you're still relying on yourself. So I
mhm,
had to figure out what's going to bring in residual income. What's going to be able to, I can go with my parents and sit at the hospital for surgery or and still be making income and not worrying about my bills getting paid.
mhm,
And I was like, I know I'm not the only one in that position. So if I can find a way out, I'm going to open the door and help somebody else get out.
mhm, mhm. And for sure, you're not the only one. Of course, you're not the only one in that position. So many people are. And what I love about, you know, what you're doing, what you're building to serve your community is that you you can serve the masses, right? You want to serve, you know, the ordinary person who works hard, who loves their family like everybody else, right? Like every other person loves their family, and they are looking for a way to move the needle forward. They're looking for a way to be able to retire and be able to have take their time back. They're looking for a way to pay off their debt, to get out of debt, so they're not in a position where they're just living paycheck to paycheck, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And
so I
I think about, I'm sorry, but I
know.
think about, a lot of times, common person, you need a set of tires on your car.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, it's getting to be the first of the month. And so you kind of go and you're like, Lord, just let these tires last until this next
Mhm.
paycheck, which might be 2 weeks from now. And
Mhm.
it's scary because you got to still be on the road, right? Who
Mhm.
knows when a tire is going to pop? Who knows what's going to happen? But not being able to have an option, or what if your car just breaks down?
Mhm.
Then because you don't have any options, you don't have any money in the bank, you got to go for this lender who's going to give you a car, but they're going to charge you more interest
Mhm.
because you're not as stable.
Mhm.
So I just want to be able to help people to figure out how to get out of that loop, how to be able to have options, how to be able to take their family on a vacation and
Mhm.
not have to sacrifice for 3 months when they come back from vacation.
Right, right. Yeah. Imagine your car breaks down, you get the flat tire or whatever, and it's not a big deal. You just make a call and then you get it taken
Right,
care of. You don't sweat it. You're not
right.
thinking, oh, if I pay for this, I can't pay for something else. You're
Mm,
thinking, no, no problem. They'll come to me, they'll take care of the car, and we'll keep it moving, right?
exactly, exactly.
And I know that that's the life that you want, for your clients to have.
Yes, absolutely.
That's fantastic. I think that's wonderful. And so how long have you been doing this? Like, how long have you been focusing on helping your clients build wealth, get out of debt? How long have you had this focus around finances?
So, probably about 2 years for that right now.
Hmm.
I started with like the radio, and then we went from radio, and I tell everybody that story. I loved it because I was just behind the scenes. You couldn't tell if I had rollers in my hair, whatever. And so, I'm just like everybody else on that journey. This opportunity came, and Alan would be telling me about, it, and I'm like, you mean I got to sit in front of people? They got to see me, because then I'm worried about what my chin is looking like, what my hair is gonna look like that day. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, I have to stop hiding. And I think I made a post just yesterday. There was a time in my life I didn't think change was gonna come. I didn't know how it was gonna come. And I was expecting somebody to come rescue me. And then I realized the rescuer is right here.
Hmm.
So it's time to put the rescuer in the game. I've been sitting on the sidelines, but it's time to get in the game. And so this started, like I said, about 4 years ago. So, it's kind of getting me in the area of branching out, but then I was so passionate, like I said, about, okay, these finances have to be different. In our community, we need knowledge. And so I was like, okay, let me jump in. Even that, I was scared. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I, my this second account, my first account might be good, but the second account is in the negative. So who am I to come and try to tell somebody about finances, right? I was like, no, but you're getting to a better place, and your credit score is, so help somebody else because they need that. And so, like I said, about 2 years ago, I was started, researching stuff, and I listened to a lot of Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman and different people, and just on the side trying to help people. And then I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead. The opportunity for life insurance came. I said, let me go ahead and get this license. And so, and like with that, you're licensed with the state, so you got to be on the up and up, right? And so I love having that behind me. I went to the coaching school, got that certificate. And then, with that also comes the opportunity to learn about securities and investing. And so I was just like, it just seemed like that's where I fit. That's the thing that kind of drove me. So
I love that. I love that. It's fantastic. Okay. And so tell me about, we all have some kind of struggle. And I want to know, for you, I want you to share with your audience, what it looks like for, on days that are most challenging for you. Like what keeps you going when you're faced with some of the biggest challenges? Tell us a little bit about that. Because you always seem so bright and cheery and easygoing. So tell us a little bit about how you handle adversity and what keeps you going.
I have to tell this story real quick. Angel's always like, "You're so sweet," and I'm like, "Let me put you in touch with some other people." And they're like, "No, they're not going to tell me anything different." I'm like, yeah, I have my moments." And so, like on those days, I just be like, "Alan, this is the last show. I'm not doing it anymore. The people don't show up. They send me their information 20 minutes before ahead of time, and then they want to ask me like, what are we doing?
Mhm.
You agreed to come on the interview. What do you think we're doing?" you know, I do get frustrated. Sometimes I'm like, I see a family who needs help and they don't want to take the help, and maybe they just not there yet. And so I had to understand it's not about me. It's just like the word of God. When they say when they're not accepting the word of God, they're not rejecting the person who's given them the word. They're rejecting Christ. You know what I'm saying? So really, that's been my one of my biggest things. Like, people just don't like me. They don't want to work with me. Da 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 da. It's all about me. I was like, girl, stop it.
Mhm.
And so that's been one of the biggest, hurdles to overcome, because whether they accept it or not, it is my responsibility to put the information in the atmosphere. It is my responsibility to give them an opportunity to do better.
Right.
Whether they take it today or it's 10 years from now. Whenever it's appointed for them to be a part, they will. And
Mhm.
it's for them. And I have to be honest, like I said, when I first started, it was for extra money. So, I was chasing the money. But then I had to realize, no, I need to help the people.
Mm.
And the money will come if I'm truly helping the people. Gratification will come when I'm truly helping the people. So it's those mindset things that you
Mhm.
have to overcome, and those roadblocks sometimes, and you're just like, what's wrong? Or why am I not, why did I not have, even after 4 years, why did I not have 10,000 followers opposed to whatever I have? But
Mhm.
I can't worry about that. And if I concentrate on that, I'm not even going to satisfy the, say, 100 followers that I do have. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
just, you have to get your focus right. And it takes some time. And
Mhm.
some days it's off, but you just turn on the windshield wipers, clear the windshield, and keep going, right?
That's right. You brought up something really interesting around mindset that I'd like to open up discussion and talk to you about as well. Because like one of the things that I always say on my campus is that I'm an escape artist, right? That I help people escape the beliefs that are limiting them, escape the stories that have them stuck, and escape the environments that want them to
Mhm.
play small, right?
Right.
And I know that you're a believer in this as well, that oftentimes it's not even the money, it's the mindset, it's how people think. Like you were mentioning somebody that really needed the help but didn't take it, right? And you've got your license, you've got experience, like you can give them sound business advice, and they're not, and they're drowning and not taking it. So let's talk a little bit about mindset. I know people have blocks on around money, but tell me a little bit about, and you said at one point you were chasing the money and then you realized you needed to focus on the work. So
Right.
let's open that up. Like what, I guess start with you and then let's move into talking about your clients and people that you've spoken to. So with you, what was the shift that said stop chasing the money and start focusing on the work and the people?
Because when you're chasing the money, the authenticity, whatever you're authentic about comes through, and they can tell that you're just after, you just want them to sign the paper because you want to get a check. You don't really care if they're covered or not. You don't really care if they're invested in the right thing or not. You just having this conversation to make money.
Mhm.
And that's not where I was.
Right.
I still believed in the product, any product that I work with, whether it's insurance, investments, whether even if it's travel, I believe in the product.
Mhm.
But I was struggling and living paycheck to paycheck. So I was chasing the money
Mhm.
and forgetting to let the people know, but no, this is why I got here because this information is important. This
Mhm.
information will change your life. This
Mhm.
information can, set up your next generation and their
Mhm.
generation.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I had to get that mindset right. What's this really about? Because if you and having that right mindset, that'll make you study your craft.
Mhm.
That'll make you get better with
Mhm.
your craft,
Mhm.
opposed to just, being haphazard with people's money because money is important.
Mhm.
And they're already fearful of losing it. So then if you make a crazy decision and you don't care about who they are, they're never going to move again on another opportunity. So I never want to hinder or hurt anybody. I
Mhm.
truly only want to help. And
Mhm.
so, I had to be like, okay, let's slow down. Let's get it right. Let's
Mhm.
feel right, you know.
I love that. I love that. And what I'm hearing too is that your, the calling that is on your life to do this work is really bigger than you, right? That it's not just about you, although you and your family will benefit from it. It's also about helping other people. And sometimes you do have to take a step back or slow down to get it right so that you can speed up.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So it might look like as an entrepreneur, like, oh, it's taking me longer, but it's, you're slowing down so that you can really have some momentum in the future.
right.
So
Yeah, because it's like a marathon, Okay, I can say I want to run this marathon, and I can just be like, okay, I'm a runner today, and I can go out there, and I might do okay the first one, but that's because it was a 3K. But when I try to get in this 26 mile, I ain't gonna last because
right.
I haven't been prepared. I haven't done the training.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be in there with everybody with my number on, but I ain't gonna come in first, second, or third because I haven't trained, and I don't have the right attitude. I just wanted to be out there because I wanted to run.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I wasn't out there to say, okay, I'm out here for a reason. I'm out here to let people know it can be done. I'm out here to let people know that the training is tough, but if you go through the training, if you stick the course, if you sacrifice, sometimes your sacrifice is not always, but it could be for a season. But if you sacrifice this for a season, look how it's going to set you up for your future.
Mhm.
Look at the longevity you will have because it will transcend not you, but the generations and the generations to come.
Mhm.
And sometimes people don't think about that. They think about the right now.
Right now.
And
Mhm.
even like we were talking about, they're scared to give money because they're like, I ain't gonna give you my money because I know I got these bills to pay. And if I give you my money, then I'm not in control. I don't know what's happening. So
Mhm.
sometimes they want to hold on to it, but sometimes you got to let it go. Whether it's investing in coaches, whether it's investing in your business, whether it's investing in learning, whether it's just investing to build your portfolio. So
Mhm.
sometimes you got to let go a little bit to get a
Mhm.
lot.
Yep, yep. It's so true. It's so true. So now let's talk about your prospective clients as it relates to their mindset and any blocks that you see they have.
I think it's the same thing. That they've been so used to being on a job, let's say, for example, and having to prove, okay, I'm better than somebody else. We live in a world we got to prove we're the best all the time, when really we're all wonderful. We're all brilliant. We all bring a gift to the table, and if we could just all put it on the table and work together, and I think sometimes they think people are taking advantage of them. That's a lot of things that I hear. Nah, because I tried this before. Well, okay, what environment were you in before?
Mhm.
What did the person tell you before? Were did they walk you through it, or they just it's just like if you want some renovations done on your house. Um, this guy came and showed me some pictures, said he'd do a great job. I gave him the check. He never showed up.
Oh wow. Mhm.
Okay, so then next time you do a little bit more research on who you're working with.
Mhm.
You talk to people that they've worked with. You see if they are genuine. You see if they're going to show up. Don't give them all the money at first.
Mhm.
If they don't want to show up and you haven't paid them, then they're not going to do the work.
Mhm.
So the mindset is just, it's really fear. Fear
Mhm.
of the unknown, because I don't know what's going to happen.
A lot of fear. Mhm.
You can tell me this, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to sit here. And
Mhm.
I know there's more to my life than this, but I'm comfortable right here. I'm good right here. I figured this out. So I'm just going to stay right here.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm sure you have some people that are ready to go, they're ready to move on to the next level, and then the other people are really hesitant. And those people who don't accept the help, typically, what I find in my business is a year later I check in with them, and they're the same. They're at the
Yeah.
same place that they were the year before. A whole year's passed, and they've made no progress, and some of them are doing worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. And again, I'll say, it's rarely the money, although it seems like it's the money, right? It seems like it
Right.
is, but
Right.
it's really, the mindset. A mindset will have you step out and make a decision, right? A mindset is what like differentiates someone from thinking about money from the perspective of an expense versus an investment.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's the mindset, right?
Right.
Someone's like, oh, how much is it going to cost me? Someone else is saying, if I invest now, it'll not only improve my life, but it'll improve my children's lives.
Yes.
Right? But that's mindset.
That's mindset. Yeah. And like I said, but what I try to tell people is don't be closed minded. If you need to do some research, do some research,
Mhm.
you
But
know,
be open, be
but
open.
be open
Mhm.
to, and maybe you just take small steps, you
Mhm.
know, but in order to move forward, now I could say I want to go to that door, but if I don't put a foot, right foot or left foot forward, I am not going to that door. I'm gonna be right
Mhm.
here in this chair.
Right. It
So
requires
even if,
action, right? It requires a decision. A decision
yeah,
has to be made. One, and no decision is a decision too, right?
no decision is, yep. And I've done that plenty of times. And
Mhm.
so I'm just telling honestly, I know how you feel.
Right.
I know what that's like. And I was at that place. And I think I told Keisha on Saturday, I was like, I was looking back at some things on Facebook that I had started and was, kind of getting into. And then I was like, what if I had kept that forward movement 4 years ago? Where would
Mhm.
I be? But what
Mhm.
I know is I don't want to look at this picture 4 years from now and
Mhm.
say the same thing. Well, where would I be? No. 4 years from now, I'm gonna be looking. Oh, look, I kind of exceeded this, or I did. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm not at the pinnacle of what I want, I'm much closer.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
and it's just you have to think about more than just today. You have to think about. For me too, I'm big on being an example for my children. Like I don't have biological children, but the godchildren and people in my, we're an example to them.
Mhm.
And so if I'm just spending money haphazardly, da 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 da, they're gonna do the same thing.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna be mad if they come to me asking me for $20. Why are you asking me for $20? Well,
Right.
you did it. Da, da. No, so we have to remember we're an example. So what are we setting our children up for?
Mhm.
Generational wealth or generational challenge,
Mhm.
struggle, lack?
Mhm.
Which one do we want?
Right. That's right. That's right. This is fantastic. I'm so enjoying. It's so great to to interview you because there's so many juicy nuggets that are coming out of away from this conversation. I want to shift a little bit. So I want to talk about the whole importance of the aspect of mental, physical, and spiritual, right? I want to talk about this holistic approach that you may take. Can you speak a little bit to that? I know that you're a woman of faith, and I know that you know you believe in having a solid mentality and mindset. But can you talk about this whole mental, physical, spiritual? Um,
Yes, I can. Because when I tell you, I was like, Lord, I would just say one time I went to the doctor and I was like, I think you need, give me an EKG. We just need to make sure everything's, okay, because I'm just, something's off, something's not right. And so, we did some tests and things like that. And she's like, no, your heart's okay. And so at that moment, the Lord spoke, it's a spiritual thing.
Mhm.
So my spiritual heart was off,
Mhm.
been through some stuff and, thought I'd forgiven, thought I let go, but it was still eating at me.
Mhm.
And so, as it is in the natural, so it is in the spiritual. You gotta heal. You gotta you gotta make sure that you're physically able to, because that's like I said, coming to this platform, I didn't want to do it because I was like, I got 15 chins, and people ain't gonna be laughing at me about my, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't even about what they say about myself.
Mhm.
It was what I was saying about myself, you know? And I was like, but I wanted to be able to have the energy to do what God has called me to do, whether it's to stand before the people and preach, whether it was to, go into the neighborhoods and do whatever, it just, because for me, the weight represented something else.
Mhm.
And so in this process, you really, I ain't gonna say it's gonna be easy. I'm not gonna say you're gonna like everything you see, but I promise you this, if you do the work and you're sincere about it, you can move on from it. You can truly heal, just like you build websites and brands from the inside out. You're going to heal from the inside out. You're not going to look like you got it together. You're going
Mhm.
to have it together.
Right, right. Because a lot of people who look like they have it together from head to toe, when I'm sure you've seen this as a coach too, when you're working with them one on one, that is not the case.
Yeah.
That is not the case. And I will. You said something really important around healing. I have another client, and she works with high achievers, and what she finds in her practice is that they're able to work and focus and get a lot done, and they can go to a certain level, but then they struggle like breaking this like seat through the ceiling, and they come to her, and I think they think that she's going to give them some kind of business strategies to break through the next level, but she doesn't. What she talks about is healing them. It's like about, they have challenges with forgiveness,
Yeah.
like they're holding on to some things that are restricting them. Like they could go so far, like what they know in their own might, they were able to get to one level, but they couldn't get to the next level because they had something that needed to be healed.
Hmm.
I think that's really interesting that you said that.
And, and again, because I hope I remember this other thought, but yeah, so that healing is so important because in the healing, because a lot of times it doesn't matter what happened to you. You could have been in domestic violence, you could have been, raped or whatever. There's a piece of you that always says, okay, what did I do to cause this?
Mhm,
What did I do to initiate this? And
mhm,
so you have to realize sometimes people do things to you that are out of your that was nothing you didn't initiate that. You didn't call for somebody to come rape you. You didn't call for somebody to hit you or abuse you. And you have to realize that.
mhm,
And then, you might have feelings of shame. Why I can't tell anybody because
mhm,
I'm supposed to have a PhD and I'm supposed to be this brilliant person.
mhm,
Even spiritually, I'm supposed to have the spirit of discernment. And I
mhm,
was with a cheater. I was with an abuser.
mhm.
You cannot control somebody else.
Right.
All you can do is control yourself, control your decisions, control your actions, and keep going. You
Mhm,
know, if they want to heal with you, great. But if they don't, you can't stay stuck because
mhm,
they're stuck.
mhm,
Pray for them. Leave the card behind, whoever helped you, and you're, you know,
mhm,
leave some little pamphlets out or something. But ultimately, just like you made that decision, they have to make it as well.
mhm,
You know,
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
kind of
And
chills here, but
what'd you say? Say that again.
chills here.
Now you were going to say something, and I don't know if I broke your train of thought. You were going to say something. I want to make sure that your audience gets all the juicy nuggets that you have.
Hmm. It might come back to me. It might.
Okay, so feel
Let's
free to
see.
jump in
Let's
at
see what
any
Keisha's
time.
saying here. You cannot control somebody else. Powerful message. Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Keisha. That's true because even I tried to do that. I tried to stay where I was because that's where my friends were. They were comfortable there and I didn't want them to think, because, people will say, oh, she thinks she this or she thinks she that. No, I'm not consciously thinking that. But if I am this or that, I am this or that. And I
Mhm,
have to flow in that. But for
mhm,
so many years, I shrug down. I'll just be quiet. I'm not gonna act like I'm intelligent. I'm not gonna act like I
mhm,
want to. Keisha, I'm glad you. And this is what I found out with Keisha. Sometimes you feel like you you can't break the ceiling because your friends haven't broken it. So what right do I have to be
mhm,
prosperous if my
mhm,
friends aren't prosperous? What
mhm.
right do I have to be the first person in my family to be the millionaire if somebody else? I should let somebody else do it, but ain't nobody trying to get there, so you better go ahead and take your spot.
Mhm. Yes, yes, and I think I mean I always say, it takes courage to build your business, to be an entrepreneur, to put yourself out there. It's not easy, and I always say that it's like one of the biggest faith walks you'll ever have, because it's ups and downs. It's not predictable, and it does impact every part of you, your mind, body, spirit. It impacts every part of you. So I want to ask you, like, what impact do you hope to have in people's lives and in their families and their friends? Like, what impact do you want to, I guess this is kind of like the legacy question of, you know, what do you want to be your life's work? Are we getting comments in there? We getting
Yeah.
comments?
Keisha says, "Look, I put my glasses on." She says, "Yes, it is a faith walk on steroids."
For sure, absolutely is. It tests us, but it also strengthens us. So I think that's wonderful. I always say that entrepreneurship is not for punks, right? It's not for chickens. You can't be scared. Like it is definitely it definitely requires courage and you believing that that next step is going to be there, even though you can't see it. So.
Right.
Mhm.
And even in that, I always tell people, okay, especially if you're going to therapy or if you're going to a coach, be honest when you go to that coach or that therapist. Don't sit there and act like, okay, I've done all these steps, and if you haven't really done those steps.
Mhm.
Now, my clientele's not growing. I'm sending emails. Da da da. Don't embellish. Just be honest where you are. I haven't been sending emails because I don't want to. That's a
Mhm.
lot of work. I get tired. So can
Mhm.
you help me figure out how I can send these emails where it's not, draining me? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Honest about where you are. Even if you want to be an entrepreneur, but you're scared. If you want to write a book, but you're scared to tell your story because you like, your mama or your brother got to read it and they gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Just
That's
be
right.
honest and be like, how can I tell my story so my brother don't be coming after me when
Yeah.
when I release it? So
It takes courage for sure. And I'll tell you, another client of mine just co-authored a book, and she had that same concern that people she knew would read it and
mhm.
would hear the story, right? And I said, yes, they probably will. I said, and a lot of other people will hear the story and they'll be blessed because of the story. Their lives will be changed because of the story, because you were courageous enough to put the story out there, right? And then people knew that they weren't alone in the walk that the same walk that you have, right?
Right.
So I want to know, tell me a little bit about, what impact you want to make in the lives of other people. Like
So, I just want to, I don't know if I want to be a bridge. I don't know if I'm trying to be, a nurse along the way, little practitioner to help heal. But
Mhm.
I know, whew, and even saying it, I know that there's more for me to do. I know that there's more to be required. But I'm more willing to do the work now because I want to see that impact on somebody else. I
Mhm.
really am worried about our generation. I mean, when COVID came, who expected that? Who expected that even 2 years we would be dealing with something like that?
Mhm. Mhm.
Jobs shut down.
Mhm.
People, you're in your house and you
Mhm.
don't have anywhere to go. If you were in a little bedroom apartment, you might have been driving yourself crazy because you didn't have any space. And so then you're like, oh, I need a house.
Mhm.
So how are you going to get that house? After
Mhm.
this 2 years, are you still in the one bedroom apartment, but you really desire a house because these four walls are driving you crazy? Whatever
Mhm.
you want in life, I want you to be able to enjoy your family. I want you to be able to take your children on vacations, because those are some of the things I remember. And
Mhm.
I'm just saying those are the things that help me. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping they would help somebody else. So if you want to be able to take your kids, I hear people on my job, my one friend in particular, her daughter was like, well, are we going anywhere this summer? I mean, can we go to the beach? And she's
Yes,
like,
yes.
oh my God, this girl is driving me crazy. She wants to go to the beach. And I'm just like, we are like 4 hours from the beach. I mean,
Mhm.
we can make that happen if we really try. So I just don't want people to be suffering in silence. I want
Mhm.
you to know that there's help out there. I want you to know that we have opportunities, that we have more options. I want you to know that your options are more available. Even if you're talking about investing, back in the day, we always said you need $10,000 to invest. Okay, well now in
Uh,
2022, you can invest with $10. We can start you there. You know what I'm saying? But
mhm.
you have to start somewhere
Mhm.
because time is not stopping.
Mhm.
And
And
if
I love that, in your business, you meet people where they are and you serve the average person who's trying to get ahead or they're trying to get off this hamster wheel and they don't know how.
right,
And the fact that you can meet them where they are, the fact that you can help them with their budgeting. Sometimes if you're in it and it's your money, and you try to budget it, but you can't see the leaks in your bucket. Like you can't see, right? Until they bring on someone like you and you might say, "Oh, we can, I see, hundreds of dollars every month we can save you,
right.
right?" So I think that's fantastic. So I want to know, and I'm sure your audience wants to know, what are you working on? Like how can they work with you? What are you working on? What have you got coming up? Tell us a little bit about what's happening right now with Aly.
Awesome. Well, Allie's going to be in Philly starting on Wednesday, the King of Prussia with Miss Angela Durant.
That's right. That's right. I
So,
cannot wait.
yeah, so we're going to be at the storytelling retreat.
Mhm.
And we're gonna just, it's gonna be some other women there. We're gonna be sharing our stories. We're gonna be, talking about our business and tweaking things. And I'm just gonna be there because y'all know I'm passionate, but I'm still a little afraid cat on the inside. So I'm gonna be, really, asking for help. Okay, this is what I see where I want my business to go. Because honestly, you know, I'd like for this to become a network, where we're talking about men and women's health. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about finances. We're bringing the people all the information they need.
Mhm.
And through meeting people like Angela and Keisha, because Keisha in her group, the $100,000 minute, group, there's people in there that I've met, and they've helped me along my journey just watching them, or them going live or
Mhm.
sharing their posts and things like that. So, um, I've gathered a lot, but now it's time to execute.
Mhm.
So we're building the website from the
Mhm.
inside out.
Yep.
We're building this whole umbrella because, like I said, it's the show, it's the financial piece, it's life insurance, it's investing, it's getting home security for your family or your business. I mean, there's so many pieces to it. There's the travel piece, and so we're just bringing it all under one umbrella. And one thing I do know that even when you're an entrepreneur, you have all these great things, you have to kind of build one step at a time. Like for me, I was trying to be over here and I was going crazy. So I had to again slow down.
Mhm.
Okay, what piece are we building? What's the foundation of this enterprise, of this empire? So we had to figure out the foundation. so
Mhm.
that everything else can flourish. Because I can have this pretty drapery, but if I don't have any walls to put it on, what's the
Right.
drapery doing?
Mhm.
So that's what we're doing. We're just, getting everything together so that I can launch everything. But, I am still helping people with their budgets. I'm helping people with life insurance, figuring out because a lot of times people don't know what you need. And, the company I work with, we talk about the dime theory. We talk about your debt, your income, what's actually coming in. We talk about whether you have a mortgage or you're renting, and then education if you have children that you need to send to school or you're looking to go to school yourself.
Mhm.
And that budget piece, where everybody says, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Okay, over here I see, well, we ordered from Pizza Hut 5 times this week, and then we ordered Starbucks. And like I said before, sometimes you just have to sacrifice for a season to bring everything together. So that's how I'm working with people. If you want to reach out to me, find out more about life insurance, what you really need, because we always talk about buy term and invest the difference. See,
Mm.
there's other types of insurance, but sometimes they come with they come with a savings, and they say you can borrow from that, but you're borrowing your own money, but you're paying the company back with interest.
Ah.
You know, and then you have to choose. You have the policy, then you have the savings that come with it. But if something happens, you don't get both. You have to choose one or the other. With buy term and invest the difference, if something will happen to you, your family's going to get that policy, but then they're going to get all this investment money as well. So you're getting it all. So just educating on people, really what's out there.
I love that. I love that. And how do they get in touch with you again?
They can inbox me either at Aly Virtuous on social media. On
Mhm.
all platforms, I'm either Aly Virtuous, and I also have Making Connections with Aly. That's
Mhm.
Instagram, Facebook. You can even email me at info@aliciajohnson.com. And we're going to have a CTA, and that'll give you that information. Or give me a call at 980-389-6826.
That's fantastic. I love that the work that you're doing in the world. I really see your heart. I see your spirit of wanting to help others, and I love that your approach is kind of the every person, right? You are really inclusive. You don't, you know, exclude anybody. If they're working and they want to get ahead and they want opportunities for themselves and their families, you see it from the perspective of you don't have to already be wealthy to hire me, right?
Right, right,
You don't already have to come to the table with 10 grand to work with me. We can start where you are and build your wealth from there.
right,
And there's not a lot of people out there who's having that conversation with people. And so I want to honor you for the work that you're doing, for you saying yes to the calling that's on your life. And I love that you can do so many things, and you can really meet people where they are. One of the things that you said is like there's so many things you can do, and what I find is that it's very common for people to try to figure out, when they're so gifted, try to figure out like, well, what do I do and where do I do it next? But I think you're really stepping into, all the things that are under this umbrella of how you can serve your community. So it's been so much fun interviewing you today.
of
Any
course.
any closing words that you have? Anything that we missed? Maybe if I'm not as polished a host as you are, so I'm hoping that I didn't miss anything. But if I did, like, is
You
there
did
anything
great.
else you want to share?
You did an awesome job. I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed
You
it
made me feel very at home.
on your show, right?
Oh, because I was very nervous. But I know that this is very needed information. We have to have those conversations. We have to tell people, really where we are, where we're going, and there's some bumps in the road, but we can get over those. We have the ability at any age, any stage to change our life because again, the rescuer is on the inside of you. So
Mhm.
whatever you're needing rescue from, the answer's there. You might need help executing it, but the
Right.
answer is there.
Right.
But
And you're the person who would come alongside them and hold their hand and walk them through the process.
Yes, yes, we would strategize how that works, what needs to be done, and I'm not trying to hoodoo or mess with it. I'm trying to help and build, because the more we build, the more opportunities. Because I think about my parents. Oh my God, you might be in the health field, so you built something that now helps my parents.
Mhm.
You're giving opportunities for young black men, so that's going to help my godson. You know what I'm saying?
We're
So
all connected. We are all
exactly,
connected.
because like it all intertwines at some point.
Mhm.
So, but before we go, I definitely want to take a moment. We're going to take a moment and run our CTA, our commercial, and
Okay.
then we're going to come back. Um, and we're going to ask Miss Angela for her last, words of encouragement, and how you can reach out to her, because she is somebody that you need in your life. If you're trying to build and you truly want to build from the inside out, maybe you through this conversation and something she said, you've heard, you like, oh, I've been doing it, kind of lopsided. Maybe Angela can help me get it on an even path. If you want to find out how you can come to future retreats and things like that, we're going to give her an opportunity to share. But we're going to have this quick commercial, and we'll be right back with more with Angela Durant.
Thank you for being such a wonderful listening audience, whether you were listening live or on the replay. And don't forget to like our Facebook page, Making Connections with Aly and Shay, so that you can get notified every time we go live. Do you have a burning message to share with the audience? Contact Alicia Johnson at info@aliciajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com with your topic idea and your message to be booked on the show. And if you're an inspirational speaker or a motivator or simply seeking a platform to share your message, contact Miss Alicia Johnson at info@aliciajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime right here on the Making Connections Network. Again, contact Alicia Johnson at info@aliciajohnson.com. That's info@ALYSSIAJOHNSON.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime, your own radio show right here on the Making Connections Network.
Hey, hey, everybody. We are back from our commercial break. That voice you just listened to is Miss Keisha Dixon. And she said, awesome conversation, ladies. She enjoyed this. So thank you, Keisha, for sticking with us and being with us and for commenting. I really appreciate that. So you guys know we are making connections with Aly. We are here every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can follow us on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Yeah. So we're there too if you want to reach out to us on that platform. And like I said, on Saturday, we just linked our page here to YouTube. So the next day, you can always find it on YouTube and share it from there. But we do entreat you and ask you to share these videos, because it's good information for somebody, even if it's not for you. If you think somebody comes to mind as we're talking, share that video with them, because this is information we can all use, because we're all building, we're all getting better, and we can get better together. And that makes us stronger, right? And so I want to give Angela an opportunity. Thank you so much for being my host today and interviewing me. I appreciate it. And so, Angela, definitely tell people maybe a little bit more about what you do and how they can follow you or reach out to
Yes, thank you so much. And again, it has been an honor and a pleasure to interview you. It's so fun to turn the tables on our host,
you. Right.
and because I don't know how often it is that your audience gets this kind of insight into who you are and all the things that you're doing because you're always interviewing your guests. So
Right.
it's certainly been a pleasure. And for me, I am a brand consultant, right? So if you're looking to build your brand, if you're looking for a competitive advantage in the marketplace, if you're looking to have a competitive advantage in your job, if you work in corporate America, I'm the person who's going to help you build that from the inside out, as we talked about earlier today. And I wanted to mention that one of the reasons why I started my business, and you can find me at www.bebrilliantmovement.com. One of the reasons I created the Be Brilliant movement in the first place was that I saw so many people who had these, what we call hidden talents, right? I was working a job and I heard this ruckus coming out of the office next to mine. It was my director of sales. And I went in there and said, "What are you guys doing?" And she was just unboxing a book, a children's book that she wrote. And I said, "I didn't even know that you were a writer." And she said, "Well, I'm good at sales," because she was my director of sales, "but I love to write. I've always been passionate about writing." And then I had at the same job, there was an assistant general manager, and she was really great at helping us plan events, any kind of events we had that needed decor or logistics or just any detail work. She was amazing at it. And I was like, "You should be doing this like on the side." And she said, "I do it. I'm trying to build a business on nights and weekends." And I said, "You're just phenomenal. Like, the gift that you have is not common, right? That's something really special." And I was driving home that day and I thought, I had this epiphany that to each of us a gift is given, right? Everybody has something, but many times those gifts are hidden. They're hidden. And scripture tells us that light should never be hidden. And nobody lights a candle and puts it under a basket or a bushel, but they place it on a stand so it can give light to everybody in the house. And in that moment, the Be Brilliant movement was born, right? We use branding as a vehicle to help you shine your light, to help you come out of the hidden places, right? And I want to honor you, Aly, because you've answered the call, right? You're willing to step into what God has given you as a gift, and you're able to use that gift to help other people, right? And so, like on our campus, we believe that we're all connected, right? When you do something, it helps me too, right? We're all connected. So when you rise, we all benefit from that. And so, so I want to share that with you. I'm so excited when I get the front row seat to see the gifts that have been given to God's people. And you're definitely a blessing, and you're going to be a blessing to so many other people. And I think about growing up, and I have friends that in their community, they talked about finances at the kitchen table when they were little kids, right? But in our community, we didn't know about stocks and bonds and investments, and we didn't know about that. So it wasn't even a part of our language. It wasn't a part of what was happening in our homes, where other communities, other families, they knew about it, they learned it, they got educated from youngsters up, right? But that gave them an advantage that in our household we didn't have. And so I love that you're stepping into this work, because now you'll help bring people up and educate them so that they know and they can teach their children what they didn't know, right?
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
and so the work that you do has a ripple effect, not just for that person, but for generations to come. And so that's a light that shines so brightly. And I feel so honored to be here. And I was just, again, thank you for allowing me to be your guest, or your guest host.
Yes, and so next time you're on the show, I'll interview you and take you a little bit deeper into what you do. So I appreciate that. And thank you for this opportunity, because, again, it's one of those things that stretch me because, I stay quiet. I try to silently let people know what I'm doing, not be y'all.
Mhm.
But, it's time because there's a lot of the help that's needed out there. and whatever I can do, it's time for me to step into my place. And so, even with that, this month, the business I work for on the side, in the financial area, if you want to learn more about that, if you want to know how to get in the trenches with me to help families and to teach them, reach out to me, because this month, the month of July, we're running a killer special on becoming a business partner. And so if that's something you want to, look into and just see what the aspects are and where you can grow in that, reach out to me. This month is an amazing month, the month of July through the end of the month. Reach out to me because sometimes we need that little extra on the side to help us get to clarity, clear our mind from stress and all those things. So reach out to me. Any way you need help, just reach out to me. And if I can't help you, I know some Angelas and some
Mhm.
Keishas and some other people who can. So definitely it's a definite resource for whatever you need. So I'm excited. I'm thankful. Angela, I will see you on Wednesday.
I will see you. I will see you at the airport. Cannot wait.
So, you guys, again, we're here every Monday at 2 p.m., every Saturday at 12 noon. Check out our Facebook page. You can go back. All the previous videos are there. Check out the guest list and see what we've been talking about. But until next time, as always, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day, everybody. Bye, Angela.
Bye, Allie.